Hello friends! What do you think are the craziest ideas that someone in danger can come up with? When someone only has a few seconds to evaluate the situation, the human brain uses its resources to the fullest and does everything possible to save the person's life. That's what happened to the man of our story today, who made an incredible decision in order to save his own life. At the end of July, a 44-year-old Brazilian man, Romaldo Macedo Rodrigues, from Oiapoque, Amapá State, northern Brazil, went fishing on the Oiapoque River. He was planning on going to the Ilha La Mir, an island off the coast of French Guiana, and spend a few days fishing there. Fishing was his way to distract himself from everyday problems and other bad thoughts. Rodrigues had a rather extensive experience in fishing and was always ready to take risks, but unfortunately, the man couldn't have prepared for these unforeseen circumstances. There was no sign of trouble at first, but then his boat started filling with water and sinking. One of the edges went completely underwater. Romaldo needed to do something quickly because his life was hanging in the balance. There wasn't a single person around, and Rodrigues didn't know how to swim, so he decided to take a desperate step. Romaldo climbed into a small freezer, where he miraculously fit and started waiting for salvation. According to the man, at some point, he actually stopped believing that a miracle would happen and realized that he would soon die. He didn't have any food or drinking water, and he felt his strength leaving him. He couldn't sleep because he had to monitor the water level, so he could manually scoop it out of the freezer if it became too high. All the while, there were many sharks circling around the freezer, but fortunately, they didn't try to attack the poor fellow, as if waiting for something. The Brazilian man spent all his time looking into the distance in hopes of seeing people, as well as praying to God and thinking about his wife and children. He didn't want his life to end so ridiculously and without him even saying goodbye to his family and loved ones. The only thing that kept him going was hope. The fisherman was found 11 days later by the locals off the coast of Suriname, which borders French Guiana, which was 280 miles, 450 kilometers away from where his boat sank. He had lost 5 kilograms of weight, was disoriented, and dehydrated. According to Romaldo, it was the most important day of his life, his second birthday. Hearing the noise of the approaching boat was so exciting, but he didn't have any strength left to draw attention to himself. Fortunately, the fishermen did notice him nonetheless. They fed him porridge after so much time without food and gave him first aid. He mostly only had severe sunburns, and his eyesight got restored soon. However, if you thought that this was the end of the story, you're mistaken. Rodrigues was in for a new adventure. As soon as the man returned to shore, he was arrested by the Suriname police for being undocumented. Not even the fisherman's obviously poor condition could mitigate the punishment. The man was arrested and spent 16 days in prison before he was finally able to fly home to Belém in the state of Pará, Brazil. Nevertheless, spending 2 weeks in prison was much more pleasant than the terrible 11 days on the water without people, drinking water, or food. This crazy story teaches us that we should never give up, because no matter how awful the circumstances may seem, there is always a chance that things might take a turn for the better. Friends, how do you feel about the rescue story of this Brazilian man? What would you do if you were in his place? Be sure to let us know in the comments. And that's all for today. Rate this video if you liked it, and see you soon. Bye.